A 77-year-old veteran, clutching a wreath of remembrance, stands motionless on the dock as the Coast Guard binds her hands, hauling away the boat that carries the memories of hundreds of fallen sailors. But just 1 hour later, Hawaii's waters tremble. A naval flotilla appears, led by her former student, eyes blazing with resolve. What secret lies behind Wave's legacy? Why was all of America stunned when the truth emerged? This is more than the story of a seized vessel. It is the journey of loyalty, of teacher-student bonds, and of memories that refuse to fade. Discover the tale of Ana Martinez, the woman who reminds us of the true value of sacrifice. Don't look away. This story will carry you from injustice to a breathtaking crescendo, where truth ignites like a wildfire. Hit subscribe on Veteran Best Stories so you never miss a story that moves the soul. Hilo Harbor, Hawaii, where the wind whispers echoes of the past, lies bathed in a morning as tranquil as an unspoken prayer. Gentle waves lap against weathered timbers, the air scented with sea salt and plumeria. Amidst this stillness, 77-year-old Ana Martinez walks slowly along the worn boardwalk. She needs no audience to affirm her presence. Her silver hair tied neatly at the nape of her neck, her navy jacket frayed at the shoulders fluttering in the sea breeze, and in her hands, a pristine white wreath, symbol of remembrance and loyalty. Her gaze, deep as the ocean, settles on no one in particular, yet sees all: the rusting ships, children hawking flowers, fishermen offering silent, respectful nods. Ana returns their greeting with a thin, yet warm smile. She speaks little. It is unnecessary, for her silence carries a lifetime of stories, of a woman, a veteran, a keeper of her town's memory. Her canoe, Wave's legacy, Di San Kwasung, has rested at the dock for over 40 years. To outsiders, it's merely an aging wooden craft, its oak planks mottled, its mooring lines frayed, a modest in-memory plaque hanging at the helm. But to Hilo's residents, it is a torch, smoldering in the hearts of families who lost loved ones to the sea. The boat is more than a vessel. It is a ritual, an unspoken vow. Wave's legacy is the centerpiece of Ana's silent mission, to carry families into the bay where they may scatter blooms in honor of the fallen sailors who never returned. The canoe once bore a deeper secret, a private memorial in 1980 when Ana alone convened a ceremony for fleet members lost at sea, unacknowledged by the government. No publicity, no press, but an act of unwavering loyalty, one that required no applause. That morning, as on countless others, Ana readied for another voyage. She cleansed the memorial plaque, inspected each flower of the wreath. Beside her, 17-year-old volunteer Koa Liu stood steadfast, always ready to trim candles and secure lines. Born well after those conflicts, Koa nonetheless understands the weight of the memories Ana carries on her shoulders. When everything was ready, Ana released the mooring line. Her hand brushed lightly over the memorial plaque, as if offering a whispered prayer. But just as the engine began to purr, a black SUV streaked in from afar, slicing across the calm sea like lightning. A group of Coast Guard officers disembarked. Their leader, face as cold as steel, eyes unyielding, demanded Ana produce her paperwork. Unfazed, Ana produced her binder, the canoe's registration, activity permits, every document valid and clearly stamped. Yet the officer's expression did not soften. "Operation not authorized," he said, his tone as harsh and indifferent as metal clattering on stone. Ana remained calm, each word chosen as carefully as stones on a path. "This canoe is used to honor the fallen heroes. but her words seemed to vanish on deaf ears. No one responded with an ounce of empathy. The patrol boat loomed alongside as if preparing for a major arrest. Waves slammed against the pier, tilting Waves' legacy violently. Yet Anna stood firm. 3 officers clambered aboard without explanation, without a single gentle word. They bound Anna's wrists, forced her onto the wooden deck, their actions rough as if she were a criminal. She did not resist. On the deck, her hands tightly restrained, yet one hand still gripped the white wreath. Her gaze, though now seen from below, remained unwavering. She did not cry. She did not scream. She only stared toward the horizon, where the souls she honored awaited that wreath. The canoe was towed away, its engine roaring, carrying the legacy of the Waves out of the harbor as if erasing a chapter of history. Anna was brought ashore, seated on a simple wooden bench. The wreath lay crushed in her hand, petals bruised by the rough handling, but she did not let go. Koa, watching it all, trembled as he grabbed his phone. He recorded the heartbreaking scene and posted, "They're arresting Anna for laying a memorial wreath." The video spread like wildfire through the night, and gradually, one by one, elderly neighbors, veterans, the fishmongers, they gathered. No one spoke a word, but that silence was not apathy. Anna felt no anger. She flipped open her logbook, each page listing a name, an age, a date of sacrifice. The final page lay blank, a space waiting, another memory crushed, or another name to inscribe. Mrs. Helen, the cafe owner by the dock, brought Anna a cup of hot coffee. But Anna did not drink. She gazed out to sea as if awaiting a signal from beyond the horizon. The Coast Guard announced, "The canoe will be impounded for violation." The town remained still, yet within that stillness burned a quiet flame. A justice not born of statutes, but of memory. And memory can never be seized. Anna squeezed the wreath in her hand. Her eyes blazed bright, as a lighthouse daring the storm. Justice is coming from somewhere beyond the waves. The white wreath lay silent in Anna Martinez's weathered hand, each petal not merely a symbol, but the very soul of those who have passed, names no longer spoken at memorials, yet immortal in memory. She gripped the wreath tightly, her gaze sharp as an ancient blade. She did not look at the people. She did not look at the waves. She stared directly at Warehouse 4, where Waves' legacy, her memorial canoe, was held captive behind steel walls, as cold as oblivion. Hilo Harbor, once alive with the calls of fishermen, bare feet on wooden planks, laughter in the sun, now stood hushed, as if an arena awaiting a fateful moment. No one spoke. No one offered comfort. Yet everyone understood. Something sacred was being violated. News spread like sparks to dry tinder. From roadside bakeries to church custodians, from aging gas stations to the town hospital, the story, "They arrested Anna while she was scattering memorial flowers," rippled through Hawaii like gunfire, awakening a slumbering island. Waves' legacy was more than an old canoe. To Hilo and hundreds of families, it was a torch of remembrance. That boat carried tears, prayers, and reverence. Anna was its helmsman, guiding grieving families into the bay so each wreath cast upon the water became a silent farewell. Each voyage was not just a memorial, but a vow. Those souls would never be forgotten. And now, that torch was snuffed out. Wave's legacy seized, and Anna, guardian of memory, stood alone on the dock like a knight stripped of her sword, yet her eyes unbowed. In the digital world, everything ignited. The video Koa Liu captured, the moment Anna's hands were bound on the canoe, her eyes never leaving the wreath, was posted under the headline, "They're arresting Anna." And like lightning through social media, it spread with breathtaking speed. Tens of thousands of views in hours. Comments surged like a storm. "Free Anna." "Why arrest a veteran casting flowers?" "Is this the America we honor?" On Oahu, a former sailor-turned-writer shared, "In 1982, it was Mrs. Martinez who carried my family out to sea to honor fallen shipmates. No one else did that. She was our guiding torch." Those few hundred words pierced social media like a spear, striking millions of hearts. And for many Americans, this ceased to be merely a story about one woman. It became a profound question of gratitude and of how this nation treats its keepers of memory. At Pearl Harbor Naval Base, Leah Tanaka, fleet commander, 50 years old, stood stunned before her screen. She had once been Anna's young pupil. Decades ago, Anna took her hand when Leah hesitated at her first memorial. "You are the torch of remembrance," Anna had said. Now, Koa's video cut through her like a blade. Leah rose, her eyes ablaze. "Prepare the flotilla. We sail to Hilo. No captain fights alone," she ordered, her voice as resolute as a midnight cannonade. Anna still knew nothing. She sat quietly on the dock, wreath in hand, petals bruised, her gaze fixed on the distant sea, silver strands of hair dancing in the breeze. Helen, the cafe owner, approached with a trembling loaf of bread. "You are the light of this place," she whispered. Anna merely nodded. She did not reach for it. She needed no sustenance, no praise. All she needed was Wave's legacy back on the water. At that moment, the Coast Guard announced, "The vessel is impounded for unauthorized operations." The voice was mechanical, soulless. The town mayor remained silent, avoiding comment. But the people did not. They needed no official statement. Online, the hashtag #FreeWavesLegacy spread across states. A coalition of veterans formed. "Return the boat to Mrs. Martinez." Their emblem, a white wreath floating on blue waves. Koa live-streamed daily. His voice choked as he captured Anna's solitary vigil. "She isn't just the boat's helmsman. She is our living memory." A Texan ex-sailor testified, "In 1990, Mrs. Martinez took my wife and me to a memorial. That boat was our sanctuary at sea." Leah, in the control center, monitored social media. Upon reading those words, her eyes shone like swords drawn. "Flotilla, set sail," she commanded. The wheel turned, the wind shifted. And in Hilo, though Anna remained unaware, justice was drawing near. She sat there, silent, her eyes a flame that would not be extinguished, needing no defense, no miracle. She knew, when you live for others' memories, history will not abandon you. And the ocean always keeps its promise. A tremor, subtle yet profound as if born from the ocean's depths, rippled through Hilo Harbor. No one heard it distinctly, but everyone felt it, like memories from 1980 rising from the seafloor, tapping on the hearts of the living. On the sun-bleached boardwalk, Anna Martinez stood silent, unbowed as a monument. She gripped the white wreath in her hand, her gaze sharp and blazing like a beacon in the fog of injustice. All eyes followed her toward Warehouse 4, where Wave's legacy lay imprisoned. not merely a canoe, but a piece of this town's soul. The harbor, once filled with voices, the sound of blossoms kissing the water in farewell, now lay breathlessly quiet, like a forge-smith's hearth stoked by righteous anger, ready to temper the sword of justice. News of Anna's binding spread across the town like a seasonal gale, from elementary classrooms, roadside florists, to veterans' halls and parish gatherings. Hawaii, once lulled by gentle breezes and lapping waves, now burned with rightful fury. For Wave's legacy is more than a boat of oaken planks. It is a torch of memory, of tribute, of gratitude. For decades, Anna piloted that vessel, carrying families to scatter wreaths for sailors who never returned. Each wreath held a story. Each voyage was a promise. They would not be forgotten. Anna embodies that vow. Silent, steadfast. Now, with her boat seized, she stands like a warrior disarmed. Yet no one can strip the fire from her eyes, a flame ignited in headwinds. On social media, the video titled "They've Arrested Anna" spread like wildfire through dry brush. Tens of thousands of views in hours. Comments flew like bullets at apathy. Return her to the sea. Why handcuff a woman honoring the fallen? Is this the America we believe in? In Kailua, a former volunteer turned veterans advocate posted from the heart. In 2000, Mrs. Martinez taught me how to scatter memorial wreaths aboard Wave's legacy. She is Hilo's heart, its light in the dark. Don't let that light be extinguished. That post went viral, reached national news, and drew millions of hearts back to Hilo, where one elderly woman stands and yet is not alone. At Pearl Harbor Naval Base, Leah Tanaka, fleet commander, clutched an old dossier on the 1980 memorial ceremony, its pages bearing a photograph of Anna and her once new canoe. Leah had been a child ignorant of war, but Anna taught her gratitude and loyalty. The keeper of the flame never retreats, Anna once said. Now Leah felt that flame roar within her. She issued her command, without hesitation. Flotilla, assemble. We sail to Hilo. No captain stands alone. Anna knew none of this. She stood at the harbor's edge, wreath in her arms, her gaze unyielding as a cliff face. Helen, her old friend, approached with a steaming cup of coffee, voice trembling. You are our hope. Anna merely nodded. She needed no words, no coffee, no pity. She needed truth and justice. The Coast Guard issued its official statement. The vessel violated its permit. The words rang cold as stone, devoid of emotion. The town mayor remained silent, shirking responsibility. But online, the storm of public sentiment could not be quelled. Veterans across the nation formed coalitions, raising banners, "Return Wave's Legacy." The hashtag #FreeWavesLegacy flooded platforms from Twitter to veterans forums. Koa, the 17-year-old volunteer, live-streamed through tears. Mrs. Anna isn't just the helmsman, she is the torch of our memory. Without her, who will speak their names again? A former sailor in California wrote, Mrs. Martinez held a memorial for my brother in 1980. Wave's legacy isn't a boat, it is the forge of remembrance. Leah read those words. Her eyes flared like the wind-whipped sea at night. She repeated her order. Flotilla, set sail. Hundreds still waited, unaware of what was coming. Anna, too, remained there, small yet resolute, her eyes a sacred flame amidst life's vast ocean. And from the ocean's depths, where memories never sleep, Justice was rising, not with shouts, but with truth, with loyalty, and with a woman who dared to keep her vow to the fallen. That flame will not be extinguished. Never. Hilo Harbor, usually serene with the sound of waves and the scent of sea salt, today erupts like a forge glowing red-hot. In that charged air, something deep is stirring. Memories of 1980, once buried, are rising from the sea's depths to reclaim their voice. Ana Martinez, 77, stands unbowed like a ship's prow facing the swell. In her hand, the memorial wreath is clutched not merely by the breeze, but by a heart that never ceased aching for souls unhonored. Her gaze, sharp as a blade, burning like a sacred torch, remains fixed on the warehouse where Wave's legacy is held. That is not a canoe. It is a spirit. The crowd stands hushed, encircling her like a solemn shroud. From weathered fishermen to children who sell flowers by day, they all hold their breath. They know they are witnessing a historic moment. And then, roar. Engines thunder from afar, powerful and cold as thunder. The bay's waters part. 3 naval vessels charge in like steel swords. Overhead, a patrol plane sweeps by, its wings gleaming in the sun, shaking the harbor. The townspeople freeze. One fisherman drops his net mid-cast. A child collapses, silent. Mrs. Helen, the cafe owner, lets a porcelain cup slip from her hand. It shatters in the smallest sound amid the greatest silence. All eyes rise, staring at the flotilla as if beholding a memory come to life. From the lead ship, Leah Tanaka, Anna's former pupil, emerges. Her naval dress uniform glints in the sunlight, her eyes ablaze just as they were when, as a girl, she first heard Anna's stories. 3 officers follow her, faces solemn, steps purposeful. The crowd parts like the sea making way. Leah strides forward, says nothing, then kneels before Anna, gripping the shoulders of her old mentor. A firm nod, a wordless embrace. She rises and her voice rings out across the harbor. Wave's legacy is the sanctuary of 1980. It was here that Mrs. Martinez held a secret memorial for the sunk fleet, when no one else dared even speak their names. Silence falls again. Then, toot, toot, the ship's horn blasts like an oath. Mrs. Helen clasps her chest. Tears stream down her face. "Oh, Lord," Leah continues, her voice unwavering. She has broken no law. She is a legend. All eyes turned back to Anna. She said nothing, yet her spine remained as straight as a flagpole. Her hand still clasped the wreath, her very body a standard for the nation's memory. A group of Coast Guard officers stood silently behind her. The young lieutenant bowed his head, whispering an apology that never formed. But Leah needed no reply. She stepped back, making way for another. From the flotilla emerged Colonel Elena Voss, senior commander, her white uniform pristine, medals gleaming on her chest, hair tied neatly at her nape, her stride resolute. She needed no introduction. Her presence was proclamation enough. She stopped before Anna, inclined deeply, and spoke with steady authority. "Ma'am, the United States Navy owes you its debt." She recounted how, in 1980, when the government was silent and no one dared organize, alone Anna released wreaths. Alone, but not lonely. She preserved their spirit, honored her promise, kept alive the hearts of those who never returned. Wave's legacy is not a boat, the colonel declared. It is a sanctuary. Then she drew forth a bronze plaque, engraved clearly, in honor of Ana Martinez, Torch of Remembrance. Applause thundered like a post-storm roar. In the mingled sobs rose the sound of recognition, of gratitude, of history being stitched whole again. Ana received the plaque with trembling hands, her eyes misted, not from age, but from the weight of memory finally understood. Leah wrapped her mentor in an embrace. Another officer approached, handing Ana a neatly folded American flag, emblem of honor, of the nation's soul. Ana gripped the flag. Though her sight had dimmed, her gaze burned on, unchanged, undying. Behind them, the flotilla cleaved the waves, and from the warehouse, Wave's legacy was drawn forth, no longer bound. A fresh flag flew from its mast, the sea breeze strong, as if caressing the souls now recalled by name. Hilo Harbor trembled, not from steel, but from loyalty. Ana stepped aboard the canoe, wreath still in hand. She needed no words, for today all had been said, by steel ships, by loyal hearts, by an unquenchable flame. Hilo blazed bright again, and Wave's legacy had come home. Ana Martinez stands on the deck of Wave's legacy. Her hand grips the memorial wreath tightly. Her gaze sweeps across Hilo's tranquil waters like a lighthouse illuminating the sky of memory. The sea is calm, yet hearts surge with emotion. The canoe, once chained in a cold warehouse, now returns as a living torch, ablaze with layers of history resurrected, with souls summoned by white flowers and tears. For Hilo, a harbor once merely a waypoint for fishing nets and sailboats, has become a sacred arena, where loyalty, sacrifice, and remembrance are forged into steel, touching the heart of America. Ana's journey, from being handcuffed like a criminal to being honored as a guardian of the nation's soul, stilled a nation, inviting reflection. But the U.S. Navy did more than return Wave's legacy. Following Colonel Elena Voss's solemn proclamation, the canoe was officially recognized as a national memorial ceremonial vessel. Once again, Ana was entrusted with a mission, but this time not in secret as in 1980, but in honor. She would lead the annual memorial service for the fallen sailors. On the canoe's deck, where sea breezes lift her coat flap, Ana releases each blossom into the bay, her hand trembling slightly, her voice unwavering. Each petal is a soul, a name that shall never be lost. Leah Tanaka, now fleet commander, stands beside her former teacher, her eyes fixed on the water, supporting the ceremony with the reverence of one who learned to cherish truth. And Koa Liu, the 17-year-old whose video awakened the nation, now carries himself with confident grace. He guides families onto the deck, shares the canoe's history, helps them lay wreaths in sacred silence. Koa smiles, an innocent smile heavy with responsibility, just as Ana's did in her youth. Hilo is no longer the same. Its community has awoken from the long slumber of oblivion. Fishermen lent their hands to repaint the canoe's hull, erasing old salt stains while preserving the scars of time as testament to its indomitable voyage. Mrs. Helen, who once quietly brought Ana coffee in stormy days, now leads a community fund, building the Martinez Memorial Center near the harbor, preserving images, documents, and memories of the 1980 ceremony. Children, once content with kicking a soccer ball or riding bikes by the shore, now carve Ana Martinez into a wooden plaque by the pier, so that every passerby remembers. Here stood a woman who refused to let memory drown. Online, the video "They Arrested Ana" has now surpassed 1 million views, yet the number pales beside the outpouring of emotion. Ana Martinez is the light. Waves' legacy is living memory. The hashtag #FreeWavesLegacy has become a symbol of unity, inspiring communities from Maine to California. People have begun holding memorial ceremonies on lakes, rivers, and oceans, emulating the ritual in Hilo. A family in Florida wrote, "Mrs. Anna helped our missing Marine live on in our hearts. Thank you for that." Still, Anna did not seek glory. To her, every praise was as pale as a sea breeze. On the deck, amid gentle swells, she watched petals drift away, the corner of her mouth lifting in a fleeting smile, not for the living, but as a message to those resting in the ocean's depths. Leo whispered at her side, voice choked yet resolute, "You did what no one else dared." Anna nodded lightly. She said nothing, only tightened her hold on the wreath, grasping the very hearts of thousands of fallen sailors. From a humble harbor, Hilo has become the nation's heart, a living torch of remembrance in an age of digital coldness. And upon that flame, Waves' legacy is more than a vessel. It is witness to loyalty, to sacrifice, and to memory that cannot be extinguished. But the story is not over. Amid the praise, amid the rites and honors, an old naval chart was discovered in the archives. It bore strange markings, the site where the 1980 fleet was believed to have sunk, but included a detail no one had ever seen, a route erased. And so, as the sun sets over Hilo and Anna stands silent on Waves' legacy's deck, new questions are rising from the horizon. A secret deeper than the sea is about to be revealed. Ana Martinez stands on Waves' legacy, her gaze a lighthouse, the memorial wreath an undying flame. The canoe itself tells the story of a veteran, a protege, and a community that transformed injustice into living memory. Leah and Koa, beside her, watch the flowers drift on the waves, their eyes shining as brightly as Anna's once did. Hilo is more than a harbor. It is the torch, proving that loyalty transcends time. Waves' legacy, bearing the scars of memory, is a symbol of sacrifice that lives on in the heart of America. Anna tightens her hold on the wreath. A fleeting smile touches her lips, as if she senses her comrade smiling from afar. This story is not over. It burns in every heart. If Anna's flame has touched you, share it with friends and family across the United States. Click subscribe to the Veteran Best Stories channel to spread tales of sacrifice, mentorship, and enduring loyalty. Let Hilo ignite your heart.